So FIFA 22 is now live, boys and girls. I've got 10 hours of early door access to take a look at the game, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different than that. I'm going to do a simulation of the Champions League and see who comes out on top at the end of May. So let's get into it. Boys and girls, taking a look at, of course, the Champions League. We're at the team select screen. Of course, as you can see, the groups are close, very close, maybe 95% close to the money. The only exceptions to the rule are Pilsen here, who come in and place for Sheriff Tiraspol. We've got NEC Nijmegen coming in as Zenit. We're going to change that. Meanwhile, of course, some naming issues here. We've got Piemonte, of course, our Juventus. Bergamo, our Atalanta. I think that's pretty much it. So we're going to change NEC Nijmegen. I think that's a bit of a cop out. We want a Russian team at least to be that of Zenit. So yeah, let's get into this. Let's go Spartak. That'll do. There is, of course, Pilsen replacing Sheriff of Tiraspol from Moldova. There is no Moldovan team. We'll let that slide. So what we're going to do to make this work, we're going to, of course, select some of the bigger boys. And, of course, we'll try and simulate their journeys hopefully to the final. So we'll go for the big boys here. We expect Wolfsburg, perhaps, Sevilla, Manchester United, Villarreal, Barca, and of course, there we go. So hopefully this will work, and we'll do a complete simulation all the way through to the bloody final. So here it is, boys and girls, of course, kicking all off a brand new Champions League. Who's going to come out on top at the end of it? We'll have a little look at it, and hopefully we'll be able to see the whole tournament pan out before our very eyes. So let's get into day one, match one. Of course, we're going to try and simulate from day one all the way through. Let's just, of course, recap the teams and who they are, of course, have got. Of course, we do anticipate City and Paris Saint-Germain to go through, but of course, that might be something completely different. Meanwhile, I've gone with Atletico Madrid and Liverpool as your two favourites for this group. But of course, AC Milan are a decent team in this group of death. In Group C, we have Sporting and Dortmund. Of course, you would anticipate them to be the stronger teams, but of course, Ajax could be a bit of a dark horse on that one. Into Group D, no questions asked really. International and Real Madrid will come out on top, I do imagine, but which way will they come out on top? The Italians or the Spanish? And the case can be said for over in Group E with, of course, Germany's Bayern, of course, Spain's Barcelona, who will come out on top on that one. Of course, Benfica might be a bit of a dark horse. You just don't know. As for Group F, Bergamo, aka Atalanta, could be a surprise package here to come between Villarreal and Manchester United, but of course we'll see. And Group G, I think, is wide open. It could go either way. Lille could be a candidate as well. So at the end of this, I'm hoping to see out of the 8 teams that I've chosen, if all of them 8 make it, of course, or if any of them crash out, of course, Chelsea and Juventus should also compete and also make it through to the last 16. So what we're going to do now is simulate through to the halfway stage, 3 games complete, see who's doing okay and see who is sucking ass. So now we're at the halfway stage. Let's take a look at the situations over in the groups to see who's on course to make it to the last 16. So in Group A, as you would expect, Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City with, of course, 6 points from a possible 9, leading the charge. Of course, Leipzig still in the consideration there with just a couple of points adrift, but Bruges got it all to do. As for Group B, though, the 2 favourites, Liverpool and Atletico Madrid, are struggling. Atletico Madrid with nothing on the board. Liverpool also just 4 points, but they could still get into it in the second half of the campaign. And Milan and Porto edging closer. Into Group C, it's a bit of hot and cold here. Dortmund in command. Sporting got a bit of work to do with Ajax not going anywhere anytime soon in their second spot. Besiktas looked already out. Into Group D is Real Madrid in the charge. Victoria Pilsen, they're not even in the real deal. Then they're in second spot at the moment. Internationally, but again, I do anticipate Internationally to be stronger in the second half of this campaign and, of course, get themselves through to look to join what looks to appear to be a Real Madrid. And, of course, into Group E is Bayern and Barcelona, as you would expect, but not as clean as you would expect it either. But a couple of drop points by both of these two sides. Looks like Barcelona did lose to Bayern. That's right. Kicking off for the into Group F, it's United and Atalanta at the moment. Villarreal breathing down their necks, though. Still got a lot of work to do in Group F. In Group G, it's wide open, but it's Sevilla and Wolfsburg looking good at the moment. Salzburg not too far away either. And Lille, as you again, don't know who's going to come out on top of this one. And then finally, Group H, it is Juventus, it is Chelsea, and of course Malmo, Sparta, aka Zenit, struggling over in Group H. So what we're going to do now is jump all the way to the end of the group stages, see who goes through and see who goes home. Alright, let's take a look at the teams that made it through to the last 16. Over in Group A, Paris Saint-Germain and Man City do go through as one of the two teams that we expected at the start of the simulation. Leipzig crash out alongside Bruges. Bruges go through to the Europa League, but it doesn't really matter anyway. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid did not make it. They only got to third. Milan are the winners, with Liverpool joining them in the knockout stages. Porto crash out as well. Into Group C, it is Dortmund, it is Sporting, as we expected. They go through comfortably in the end for Dortmund, yet to taste defeat. As for Group D, again, as you would expect, a good fight though there by our guest surprise nation, Victoria Pilsen. Shakhtar Donetsk absolutely embarrassed, 0 points on the board. But Milan, that's Internazionale, and Real Madrid go through. As for Group E, as we expected as well, Bayern top the charts there, yet to taste defeat as well. Barcelona joined them as well. Benfica made a good account of themselves, but they go home. As do Atalanta and Young Boys Bern, with Villarreal and Manchester United going through from Group F. So happy days there. Meanwhile, we did lose Wolfsburg. They crash out. Lille with the surprise packages, or maybe out in Group G. They come through as runners-up. Sevilla join them as well. Into Group H, it is Juventus. It is Chelsea, who had a bit of a tough account for themselves, but they go through in the end to make the round of 16. So here is the draw for the round of 16. Some banging matches as well. City will take on Real Madrid. Over a two-legged affair, remember. Liverpool take on Bayern. Villarreal against Borussia Dortmund. That's an easy affair for either two sides. A good chance for them to go deeper in the competition. But Barcelona will take on Milan as well. Into the second half of the draw is Lille. It is Juventus. Sporting against Manchester United. Of course, both sides. Well, I think Manchester United will fancy that one. Of course, it is the Ronaldo return there as well. International against Paris Saint-Germain. And Chelsea against Sevilla. We'll check back with you, of course, as we get closer to the quarterfinals. See who goes through, see who goes home. But before that, actually, let's take a look at the top goal scorers in the Champions League right here, right now. It is Aguero with 6 goals from 6 matches. Salah's up there as well with him, and Dybala as well. Dzeko, Lewandowski, Zapata, Rebic with 5. Ronaldo's up there with 4. Messi's up there with him as well. Royce, Lukaku, Tadic, Ilic, Fernandes, and Kolak as well. That's the top assist makers. Mahrez leads the charge there alongside Goretzka, Fernandes, Mario, Gusens, of course, from Atalanta, and of course Marlon and Sancho. As for the clean sheets, Bruno is your main man for Sevilla. Neuer's got a couple as well, and the chasing pack. Any red cards? No, a couple of red cards, as you can see. But let's get into the next round of matches and see who goes through, or who has the upper hand in the first leg. Let's take a look at the halfway stages of the round of 16. Of course, Manchester City have the upper hand against Real Madrid with a 2-1 lead. Meanwhile, Bayern are behind to Liverpool, of course, 2-1 to Liverpool at the moment. Dortmund are ahead against Villarreal. Of course, Milan and Barcelona are level 1 apiece after the first leg. Into the other half of the draw, Juventus are losing to Lille. Surprise, surprise. Manchester United can only muster a draw against Sporting. Meanwhile, Paris are behind to Internazionale, and Chelsea have the upper hand against Sevilla. But that's, of course, only at the halfway stage. Who's going to come out top to make it through to the quarterfinals? We'll have a look next. So, after conclusion of the round of 16, we've lost some big boys. Real Madrid are out. So are Bayern München. Villarreal crash out as well, as do Barcelona. Wow, lost there. Meanwhile, Juventus also go out. Lille go through. Sporting and knock out Manchester United, as do PSG. They tumble out. Internazionale go through, and Chelsea go through, the defending champions, to, of course, make up the quarterfinals. And here are those quarterfinals. It'll be Dortmund. It'll be Milan in the first one. Internazionale against Chelsea. Lille against Manchester City. And, of course, Sporting will take a Liverpool. You'd fancy Liverpool. You'd fancy City. You'd fancy probably Chelsea. Probably fancy the other one is wider. We could have 3 teams from England making it into the semi-finals. But, of course, let's have a look at the first leg. See who's in command. See who's on the verge of going out. So let's take a look at the halfway stage of the quarterfinals. So far, Dortmund in command over Milan, so they're 1 step into the semi-finals already. Meanwhile, Chelsea Internazionale is all square, 2-2 after the first leg. Manchester City are in command against Lille. Meanwhile, Liverpool on the verge of going out to Sporting Lisbon, but of course they're going to go to Anfield next to see if they can get themselves the result. A draw will do, but of course we'll see who goes through, who goes home. Let's have a look at the final 4 then. Alright, let's take a look at the results of the quarterfinals then. It is confirmed. I do believe we have all three English teams have made the semi-finals. Of course, Milan crashed out. Dortmund are the objection to the rule here, or what's it, the pig in the middle, something like that. I don't even know what you want to say, but they're through to the semi-finals. Chelsea will join the 4-2 win over Internazionale. Manchester City did beat Lille, of course, outsiders they were, and of course Liverpool came back 3-1 win at Anfield to set up these semi-finals. It is Liverpool, it is Chelsea. Wow, we won. Of course, Dortmund take on City. Of course, will it be an all-English final, of course, or will Dortmund break up the hoodoo and get themselves there? We'll have a look, of course, and bring an update, of course, to the semi-finals. First legs coming at you in just a minute. Well, after the first legs, it's, yeah, I don't know what you want to take about that. Of course, Chelsea, of course, defending champions, have a 1-0 lead over Liverpool, of course, and Manchester City. In fact, isn't this, it's very much carbon copy of last season's semi-finals. I think, didn't Dortmund get this far, or didn't they give, I don't think they got this far. But anyway, they have the lead against Manchester City at the first legs. But of course, we could still have a repeat of last season's final with Chelsea and Manchester City, both still in the hunt for that final spot. But of course, let's have a look at it. Who is in the final? Who's going home? Well, here it is, boys. It is confirmed. Goodness gracious me. Chelsea make it back-to-back finals. 3-2 aggregate win over Liverpool, having drawn with them 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. But the real headline is, of course, Pep Guardiola failed again. His heartbreak as Dortmund go through 3-2 on aggregate, 2-2 on the night at the Etihad. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, well, it's the Thomas Tuchel derby, of course, former club Dortmund. They meet in the final, but it is, of course, a one-legged affair. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to get their hands on the trophy? Will it be the defending champions, or will it be the underdogs, Dortmund? Out of nowhere. Can they do it? Can they win their first title since 1994-95 or something like that? Okay, well, we've got no longer to wait. Let's have a look. See who comes out on top. So what we're going to do here is sim this game. We're going to let it play out, of course, in all its glory. This is what I've been doing the whole time. It's been a long old process as well, taking them over an hour to get to this final. But of course, here it is. We'll play it all out, game all the way through. We're not jumping in. We're going to see who comes out on top. I'd love to see Dortmund win this. They've got, of course, the goal machine, and it's Haaland. They've got Marlon as well, who's been scoring goals for fun as well. As for Chelsea, they've got Lukaku, Pulisic as well, a very strong midfield, a core defensive unit, and we do know that from these guys. But so far, into the first 10 minutes or so, it is 0-0. Looks like Chelsea have a bit of the ball, but Dortmund looking more aggressive. He has Dahoud with a bit of possession. Don't forget Bellingham's in there. Of course, he would be an Englishman to pick up the trophy. Of course, kind of following maybe in the footsteps of, I know it's a little bit different, but Paul Lambert, the last Brit. But we have a bit of play here. Goodness, it was close effort for Chelsea, and they've still got the ball here. Passing around nicely, and it's a goal. We have Lukaku on the 19th minute. It looks like it could be heading back to Stamford Bridge for back-to-back bloody Champions Leagues. But like I was saying, of course, Paul Lambert was the last Brit that picked the Champions League trophy up with Dortmund back in that 1994-95. I think it was era. But here comes Dortmund looking to equalise. Haaland trying to get himself a shot, but he can't. He can't get it away as we enter the 25-minute mark. It is Chelsea looking for two now. Lovely pass. Come back around. Lays off for number 7 as a striker. 7 is Kante. He's not renowned for his scoring, but he can score every now and again. But there's number 7 for Dortmund. It is Reina, the Americano, gives it away. But here comes, who's that then? Is that a substitution? It is Mount, Mason Mount, wearing number 19. Pulls it back. Lukaku's looking for number 2, but a breakaway here now for Dortmund. Spreads it out to, again, Reina. Pulls it back to Dahoud. Lays it off. Haaland trying to get into shooting range. Can't pull the trigger into the final couple of minutes here as we enter the last 5 or so minutes. Chelsea have the 1-goal lead, and they might, if they can get a second, it's probably all game over, you would think. There's a chance here. Great save. Kurbel comes out and keeps Dortmund in this game. 2-0 down, you think it's all over. Coming at the right-hand side here, and it's probably just about enough for half-time. Maybe a final chance. Haaland pulls the trigger. Cannot get away. So 1-0 at the break. Let's keep going the second half. Here it is. 1 goal in it so far. Lukaku, of course, made that big money move from Internazionale this summer to come back to Chelsea. And of course, if he were to come back to reap the rewards and reap the glory of maybe a Premier League and a Champions League double, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Another strike there. They're knocking on the door. Team sheets have gone. I don't know where they've gone, but you can see some of the stats there. Can we hop into look at the ratings? No, can't do that. Forget it. Let it play out. Here comes Dortmund though. Give it to number 9. Oh, it's a chance. That's probably the best chance. Oh, they're getting closer though. Possession is going with Chelsea, but it is still a very tight, surprisingly tight game. It's the 60-minute mark. We've played an hour. And here come Chelsea again, looking for that second goal, which of course will make them back-to-back British winners, back-to-back English winners for a long time. I don't know who ever done that in a long time, but it's a chance there, broken up. Here come Dortmund. They are getting pegged back here. Chance, can they break it down? Here they go. Bellingham Push to the right hand side. Can they get the cross in? Bellingham pulls it back. Oh, it's an equaliser! Witsel, Alex Witsel gets it on the 73rd. Wow, wow, we're getting a bit of a surprise on our hands here. We could go the distance. It could go to penalties. It might go, you know, the distance here. But will Chelsea look for a second themselves into the final 15? But can Dortmund make a surprise? We've got a free kick here. Haaland's taking it way back when. Long high ball, not much of it. Bellingham still alive. Chance for a second shot or second goal. 10 minutes to go. And Dortmund looking the stronger side at the moment. We want more shots. Not less as possession, but they're making their possession count. Here they go again. From defence now. Coming forward. Pressing high. As you can see, the centre-back's doing a lot of work there. Passing it around. Lovely ball. Out to the right side. Still like Bellingham. Still with it. Into the box. But, oh no, it's Haaland. It's Haaland. Haaland on the 88th minute. He could have done it. He could have won the Champions League for the underdogs. Dortmund. I believe it's going to bloody the BVB, the yellow and black machine. I think they've only gone and won the Champions League here. I cannot believe what I'm watching. Bloody Haaland, Bellingham, bloody Peru, what's his name? Reina, all the gang. Absolutely incredible stuff. Look at it. Witsel, the substitution, came on, scored the goal, but I got him back into it. Haaland finished it off. Of course, it had to be him. It had to bloody be him. But it is Dortmund. The yellow and black machine are the Champions League winners, 21-22, of course. Get in there. Happy bloody days for you guys. Of course, you wouldn't pick it. You wouldn't write this script. But of course, it would be a fantastic addition to Haaland's amazing start to his hopefully long career. Of course, I doubt he'll be at Dortmund for very long, but of course that will be something to go away with. But there you have it. Dortmund are your winners with the 2021-2022 Champions League and an underdog story that you could make a movie out of it. You can make a bloody movie. In fact, we make a YouTube video out of it. Here it is. Dortmund champions. Of course, will it happen? Let's of course look back at this. Of course, when the season comes to a close. But that's it, my friends. Be sure to give the video some love. Of course, smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, of course, hit the little bell. Of course, we do live shows here with, of course, Blackburn Rovers, and of course, FIFA content as well with career mode. We've got lots of simulations in store over the next few days, so make sure to check that out. But until then, Dortmund, well done, take a piss and bow. You are the champions of Europe, in my bizarro world anyway. But until then, we'll see you soon. We're out.